Hi guys, today I'd like to introduce Samad. Samad has started a company here in the Texas area called Chamoy. Samad, welcome. Thanks for joining us. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself, how you started the business, and about the business itself?
Awesome. Thank you so much, Travis, for having me on board. I'm here with Action Coach. So Chamoy is a platform for job seekers and talent acquisition teams to utilize lifelike video interviews with an AI. So on our platform, you upload your resume, and based off the skills and experiences listed, you get in a Zoom-like session, kind of like how we're having now. You chat with the AI, who is your recruiter, and the AI chats with you back, and you basically practice your interviewing skills. Um, I kind of started this company because I'm coming from a technical background in software engineering. And the number one thing I learned in the industry is that your communication skills and behavioral skills matter much more than your technical skills. You can be the smartest guy in the room, and it does not matter if you cannot convey the information. So that's where we're at, and our vision for the company today.
Very nice. So help me understand a little bit. The primary audience is job seekers that want to strengthen their interviewing skills, correct?
Yes, so there's multiple personas that can use our platform. Think about college students that are trying to get into the workforce. Career centers are heavily burdened. So this might be a good way to practice 24/7. It's also for the experienced professional that needs to prepare a bit before advancing into new roles, whether it's internal in their company or in another. And then it's also for those that are just not satisfied with their current line of work and maybe want to go after that dream job, right? And that's your job seeker persona. It's also for recruiting teams to use this so that they can vet candidates at large volume.
So I think that was my next question. So if I'm a candidate, I can use this to practice, but then I can also essentially use this to submit a um, a, a a chest of answers, if you will, that recruiters may go in and say, I want anybody that's answered anything about skills related to corporate communication. And it'll pull back anybody that did that. They'd be able to see their responses, their answers, and then dig a little bit deeper into their profile. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct. After every session, you get a detailed report, and your report contains what went wrong, what went right, your overall feedback, and then speech metrics and things like that. So, are you speaking too fast? Do you use a lot of ums and ahs? Are you too hesitant, too confident? And then we also track things like the STAR method, right? Which is like the classic way of answering interview questions.
Very cool. That's really um, it's really a unique way of approaching both the training, but then also from a recruiting perspective, be able to see kind of narrow down what it is that you want to talk to and who you want to talk to before you go down that path too far. Very cool. So tell me a little bit, how long has the company been around? When did you found it?
So I left my job 3 months ago
Okay.
with a slightly hesitant step. I did have this idea kind of churning in my mind, and before I took this plunge, I talked to many people that would possibly be my customers and users, and just tried to get feedback and validation. And once I sort of had that traction, and I got enough ideas, I'm like, okay, let's go ahead and take the step. And so we're 3 months in, and we're actually launching before December.
Very nice.
Mhm.
And you say we, so then I have to believe that you maybe have some additional employees with you and help in that perspective. Is that correct?
Yes, I have one other individual. Her name is Hazel. She's excellent. She sort of helps out on the marketing and operation side of these things, getting users to test, and basically doing all the business side. I mostly handle product development and vision.
Very cool. So, from a scalability perspective, what is your biggest concern in scaling your business? there's two of you right now, but at some point in time, you're going to be so busy, you're going to need more than two. So what's your biggest concern there?
I think it's more about how to evolve the product and get enough hands on evolving the product. Definitely would like to bring in more technically minded people like myself on board and have them a part of Chamoy. Um, I've gotten a lot of requests on building a way to give the AI recruiter a sense of cultural fit for the company.
Sure.
Because at the moment we just test technical and behavioral skills, but I can
Sure.
definitely see cultural fit being an excellent way to improve the AI. So yes, I would like to have members on board in the future, whether they be engineers or more in, tech oriented.
Okay. And it sounds like maybe even having someone on the team that kind of drives the psychological aspects of it as well would be a great fit. So you're 3 months into your business,
Mm.
which is really new for any business, but you're 3 months in. Uh, what are some of the key takeaways that you've had already about really owning your own business and going down that path?
The first takeaway is that if you are a technical, typical engineering background and you decide to make the plunge into forming your own startup, you have to throw away your technical mindset. It's always business first, which means users first. And you need their feedback in order to rapidly iterate the product, especially when it's young.
Mhm.
Um, I guess the other main thing is to actually balance time. With the team size of two right now, sometimes it gets difficult, but there is a way to juggle everything. And that comes down to how you prioritize your task and what needs to be delivered. And the final thing that I think is extremely important is actually your teamwork. If you're going on this entrepreneurial journey, you need to have someone that not just guides you, but is willing to stay with you until your destination. And I think I'm fortunate enough to find a partner that fits those qualities.
Very cool. So tell me a little bit about, you talk about that future and what that looks like. What do you think? Where do you see yourself in 5 years?
I get this question a lot, and honestly, I don't know. um the thing is, the industry evolves so fast. I
Sure.
do see myself continuing work with Chamoy, and the future of work in general. There's no doubt that, with all the AI hype and craze going on, people and businesses want to learn how to use it. They want to integrate it into their companies. It's just who are going to be the players that enable this, right?
Mhm.
And I think Chamoy can be a huge factor into the future of work, and would love to just continue building this product and other similar products in this realm.
Very cool. Do you see Chamoy being uh so in the tech space, more than a lot of spaces, we still see a lot of remote work. A lot
Mm.
of other spaces have started to bring people back into the office and things like that, good, bad, or indifferent. That's not. Do you see Chamoy being a tool that recruiters use for remote employees more or for in-person employees more? Or do you think there's no difference between the two when it comes to the recruitment?
Um, I don't think Chamoy is limited to recruiting for people in office or versus remote, because at the end of the day, just like the Zoom call we're having right now, your first interaction as a candidate to a recruiter is either through phone screen or a Zoom call like this.
Hmm.
And so it's never the case where on the first touch base with a recruiter where they say, hey, well, you'd like you to come to our office and check how things are. So I see Chamoy being used as a good screener tool, something to get a feel, and that way larger volume of applicants can be fairly vetted for that position.
Okay. And then tell me a little bit, shifting gears completely, as a new business owner, as someone that is starting a business, any words of advice that you would give? I'm going to ask two questions. The first one is any words of advice you would give other business owners, people that are thinking about starting their own business, leaving corporate America, about financial management and how to manage the finances of starting your own business, because that's always a challenge.
Yeah. So go as lean as you possibly can. And there's a famous quote out there. I forget who says it, but it's do things that don't scale, right? You don't need the top of the line sales tool or whatever tool it is that you need to manage your day-to-day business.
Mhm.
If I have to track things by a spreadsheet, I will track it by a spreadsheet. So those are just small things you can do to trim down the cost of running your business. The other thing is kind of bouncing back with other entrepreneurs locally and kind of doing favors for one another. Maybe you can help out a local entrepreneur. They have some sort of incentive to help you back. And it's all about a collaborative versus competitive mindset. I think that's what you need to drive down costs and handle your finances if you really want to grow lean.
Very cool. Same question asked slightly differently.
Mhm.
In the last 3 months, what's the one thing that you look back and you think, I wish I hadn't done that, or I hadn't purchased that, or I hadn't spent money or invested in that because it was frivolous, it didn't, and you don't have to give away any secret sauce, but
Mhm.
what is that one thing that you personally uh, maybe have learned from in the last 3 months?
One thing that I wish I didn't spend on. I don't think it's a tool. It's actually spending my time.
Okay.
In the beginning of this sort of project, if you will, I did not know how to um, allocate my time towards building the main problem that needs to be solved, which is just focusing on interviews. And I was all over the place. I was building features for analyzing resumes, tailoring your resume to a job description, like that. Like that's the tech guy in me, right? That wants to build, build, build. Um, that is the one thing I wish I changed. I should have spearheaded and focused on just interviews. I think we could have launched much faster if I had done that.
And uh, one of the things that I hear from a lot of people like yourself that I've been doing these spotlights with, or even clients, is uh, developing that vision, developing that business plan, and then remembering to kind of center yourself on that on a daily basis so that you don't go
Yeah.
down a rabbit hole and have a time suck from other things in your career. So absolutely makes sense.
Mhm.
You've already mentioned a little bit about the quote that you believe in and some of the things that you've done from an educational perspective. One of the things that we like to ask a lot is there a specific blog, podcast? Is there a specific book that you have read recently, let's say in the last 3 to 5 years, that really kind of sticks with you, resonates with you, and maybe sometimes you go back and reread it or re-listen to it because it's the thing that kind of helps you the most?
I wish I'd read more, to be honest. But literally yesterday, I was having a talk with a good friend of mine, friends of mine, sorry, Hudson Birdsong and Mark Gingion. They had recommended me to read a book called How to Win Friends and Influence People.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, oh, I think I've heard of this before. And I looked it up.
Yep.
Yep. I was like, I have heard of this. And it's on my back burner. And so I would highly recommend that book because it was recommended to me. And
Yep.
then I've also heard of Atomic Habits, which is another great one.
Both are great books. And I will tell you, I have both of them on my bookshelf. So if you need them, don't go buy them. I'll lend you mine. They
Perfect.
both have notes in them, but they are great books. So very cool. thank you so much for your time. I'm looking forward to all the great things that you guys do over the next few years, and we'll definitely stay in touch. Okay.
Awesome. Thank you so much,
Perfect.
Travis.
Thank you.